Good morning. I'm Brent Adams here with your Rural Strong Morning Ag Report for this Friday, November 3rd, the 307th day of 2023. Leading off the headlines this morning, the Iowa Corn Growers Association developed language they'd like to see added to the upcoming farm bill that would review competition and transparency in the fertilizer industry. The language would mandate a USDA assessment of the pricing practices used by fertilizer companies and the effects of the price increase on both farmers and consumers. The association points out that input costs for farmers have gone up drastically and are crucial topics at the grassroots level. This assessment would provide transparency in the fertilizer market and help farmers understand why these prices keep increasing. Jolene Reeson, president of the ICGA, says the organization is hopeful that with the support of the Iowa delegation, the language will make it into the next farm bill, as it would provide the USDA with the framework to start a comprehensive study and review of the fertilizer industry. Well, the 96th annual FFA convention included a Thursday visit by U.S. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack. More details from USDA Radio's Rod Bain.
The future of agriculture.
I know this convention is filled with future farmers, entrepreneurs, scientists, veterinarians, government officials, bankers, business leaders, and teachers.
Taking on what Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack calls some of the most challenging issues they will face in the future.
Climate change, food security, and growing income inequality.
The Secretary speaking Thursday morning at the National FFA Convention in Indianapolis.
And I know that your FFA experiences prepare you to face these challenges with bold solutions, clear thought, and an eye toward progress. I'm here today to say very clearly, I believe in the future of agriculture because I believe in you, our next generation of agricultural leaders.
While speaking at the FFA convention, Vilsack was presented with an honorary American FFA degree from the organization.
The honorary American FFA degree is used to recognize individuals who have rendered outstanding service to agricultural education in the FFA. It is truly an honor to bestow upon you the honorary American FFA degree. Thank you.
Just let me say thank you very much. I'm really touched by this. My wife and I often talk about all of you, and we have concluded if it was up to us, we'd put the young people of FFA in charge of the country. You understand the importance of this country. You understand the value of hard work. You understand the importance of cooperation and collaboration. You really do represent the best of the best. So I take this honor with deep gratitude.
Well, sustainable aviation fuel leaders are pressing the administration to modernize its carbon measuring model for the biofuel, a key to winning tax credits to attract needed investment. 70 industry leaders, including major airlines, wrote Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen that the default model to measure sustainable aviation fuel carbon emissions won't fly because it fails to account for climate-smart feedstock and biorefining practices, allowing for tax credits. Renewable Fuels Association head Jeff Cooper earlier.
You absolutely can make a carbon neutral fuel, whether it's for aviation uses or for motor vehicles.
The biofuels and aviation industries want the administration to apply the Energy Department's so-called GREET model, not the old model, to measure full life cycle emissions of sustainable aviation fuel and make it eligible for credits. Nebraska's Adrian Smith on the old model.
I'm told that because this model is somewhere between 10 and 15 years out of date, U.S.-grown corn and soy do not qualify. If U.S.-grown corn and soy don't meet this model's standards, the sustainable aviation fuel produced from them would be ineligible.
U.S. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack told ethanol leaders last month they need to fight for sustainable aviation fuel credit eligibility.
The issue is this industry taking full and complete advantage of us, a 36 billion gallon industry that has never existed, that now will. But you got to fight for it.
But Vilsack acknowledged that requires qualifying for credits and said tax guidance for that should be ready by the year's end. The Sustainable Aviation Fuel leaders say the Inflation Reduction Act explicitly allows for the use of any similar methodology to the existing one to determine sustainable aviation fuel credit eligibility. Well, the 10th month of the year is usually one where drought tends to decrease, and this October is no exception. Here again is USDA Radio's Rod Bain.
We have seen some good news in the month of October for some parts of the country, and overall that has led to a reduction in U.S. drought coverage.
USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey provides the total U.S. drought coverage for the period ending October 31st and changes over the 4-week period.
We see U.S. drought coverage at 36.5% of the lower 48 states. That is down from 4 weeks earlier. The number on October 3rd was very close to 40%. So it changed during the month of October, a 3.5 percentage point reduction in U.S. drought coverage.
Despite that nationwide improvement, more than 1/3 of the country remains in drought.
If you look at the individual states, we have 22 of them reporting the two highest levels of drought, or at least one of those two categories, D3 or D4, your extreme or exceptional drought.
With critical drought conditions remaining in parts of the Gulf Coast states and Southeast. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
And finally, this morning, a few weeks ago, we told you about the Iowa Pork Producers Association campaign featuring Iowa State football players Miles Purchase, Tyler Moore, Tommy Hammond, and Caleb Bacon. Well, since the Purchase Moore Hammond Bacon campaign launched on X, formerly known as Twitter, the initial photo of the players with their backs to the camera, showing their last names on their jerseys with a table filled with bacon and ham behind them, has been viewed more than 2.6 million times. Iowa Pork Producers President Trish Cook says the organization had hoped the picture would go viral, and it did in a big way. The association now will donate $4,000 worth of pork to food pantries in each player's hometown. And in some breaking news, the next phase of the campaign will also include linebacker Alex Cook. There's no word on whether Cyclones head coach Matt Campbell is currently scouring the transfer portal for additional players with pork-related names. Stay tuned. You can keep up with the latest from the world of agriculture by subscribing to the Tractors and Troubadours podcast from Rural Strong Media. Each week, I bring you agriculture industry newsmakers, hot-button industry issues, educational features, and the best in traditional country music. The Tractors and Troubadours podcast can be found at ruralstrongmedia.com or wherever you get your podcasts. We also invite you to join us daily on Rural Strong Radio, our 24/7 streaming radio station found at ruralstrongmedia.com or on the Live 365 streaming radio app for your mobile device. Each day, we bring you our award-winning agriculture programming, as well as the best in traditional country music, mixed in with a little bluegrass, western swing, southern rock, and inspirational music. Again, the place to find Rural Strong Radio is ruralstrongmedia.com or the Live 365 streaming radio app. We're portable, so take us with you everywhere you go this harvest season. We'll get you through those long, challenging days this fall. Well, I'll be back again Monday with another Rural Strong Morning Ag Report here on Steve Shetler Media. Make it a great weekend, everybody.